It was one of those Fridays that felt like a setup for something good. My last meeting got canceled, so I closed my laptop early, leaned back, and just sat there. Quiet for once. No deadlines, no noise. Just me. I remember thinking, maybe I'll surprise Noah tonight. He thought I'd be working late. The idea of catching him off guard, showing up with sushi and his favorite whiskey, made me smile. The drive home was easy. The sky had that golden tint that makes everything look softer than it really is. A song came on, one we used to dance to in the kitchen, back when life felt spontaneous, when love didn't feel like effort. It had been a while since then. Lately he'd been distant. Late nights, vague excuses, a tired smile that never reached his eyes. But that afternoon, I told myself I was done being suspicious. I just wanted us back. Then I saw it. The back door, slightly open. I frowned. We never left it unlocked, let alone open. My heart thudded once. I parked quietly, left the door cracked, and walked around the side of the house. Every sound felt too loud, my shoes on the grass, the wind brushing the leaves. Then I saw her. A woman. Mid-30s, polished, confident, slipping out the door like she belonged there. She didn't even see me at first. She adjusted her coat, looked around, and bent down, right at the doormat. I froze. She lifted the mat, my mat, and tucked something underneath. "Excuse me?" I called, my voice sharper than I expected. She stiffened, then ran. Her heels clicked against the pavement until the sound disappeared. I walked over slowly, my stomach twisting. I lifted the mat. There it was, the spare key, the one only Noah and I were supposed to know about. And in that moment, everything in me went still. When I stepped inside, the house looked the same, too normal, like nothing had happened. His jacket by the door, his scent in the hallway. But everything felt wrong. I placed the key on the counter like evidence, because that's what it was now. By the time he came home, I wasn't crying. I wasn't shouting. I was done being confused. He walked in, smiling, casual. "Hey, babe, you're home early." So was she. The words landed hard. His smile vanished. "What are you talking about?" I slid the key across the table. "This. The one she hid under the mat. The one you told me was our secret." Color drained from his face. "I can explain." "That explain," I said. Calm, dangerous. He hesitated. "She's just a friend." "A friend," I almost laughed. "A friend who knows where we keep our spare key?" He said nothing. Silence. The kind that screams the truth. And that was it. The moment I stopped being his wife and became his witness. The days that followed were slow, deliberate. He pretended nothing happened. Kissed my cheek, sent sweet texts, played the role like a man who thought the game was still on. But I wasn't. Every lie left a trail, and I followed. Perfume that wasn't mine, receipts for dinners I didn't attend, a faint lipstick mark on a towel. Her name was Clara. I found it in his emails one night, the same night he fell asleep with his laptop open. Her messages were bold, careless. "Can't wait to see you again. Use the key if she's not home. Don't worry, she never leaves early." I stared at those words until they blurred. Then I printed them, every single one, slipped them into a folder labeled leverage. The next morning, he mentioned a business trip. 3 days away. Perfect. I smiled, played my part, even packed his bags. "Have fun," I told him. "I might visit my cousin while you're gone." He kissed my cheek and said, "Good idea." Yeah, it was. Just not the kind he thought. When his car disappeared down the street, I finally exhaled. The silence was different this time. Not lonely, just clean. By noon, I'd cleared every drawer, every shelf. All my things, all my memories, gone. By 3 p.m., I had new locks on every door, except one. The back door, the one she used. I put the spare key right back where she'd find it, under the mat. Then I waited. That night, I parked 2 streets away, tucked behind a row of cars. The sky was dark, the kind of dark that hides intentions. At 8:47 p.m., headlights appeared. Her car. She stepped out, confident, familiar, smug. She glanced around, crouched, lifted the mat. There it was, the key. She smiled. I watched her unlock the door and step inside my house like she'd done it before. 5 minutes later, the scream. A sharp, terrified sound that echoed through the night. I leaned back in my seat and smiled. Inside that house wasn't what she expected. No warmth, no photos, no furniture, nothing. Just a single note taped to the kitchen counter. Hope the key still works for you. I didn't need to see her reaction. Some moments don't need witnesses. I drove away before she even ran out the door. The night air felt cold, but it tasted like victory. 3 days later, Noah came home. I can still imagine it. Him whistling, suitcase in hand, expecting the same life waiting for him. When he opened the door, he must have stopped cold. The emptiness hit first. The echo. The blank walls, the silence. Then the note on the counter. Next to it, a folder. Inside, every email, every message. I'd underlined one in red. She'll never come home early. Poetic, really. He called me that night 10 times. I didn't answer. Each voicemail was more desperate than the last. Lena, please, we can fix this. It didn't mean anything. Come home. But he forgot. He'd already given my home away. So I let him keep the echo. My lawyer handled the R. Turns out Clara was a coworker. Company HR didn't like that. By the time the divorce finalized, his career was unraveling too. I didn't smile. I didn't gloat. I just exhaled. Freedom doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's just quiet. Months later, I moved into a new apartment overlooking the city. It's small, bright, and smells like fresh paint and peace. I got a rescue cat, Juniper. She follows me everywhere, like she knows I'm someone worth protecting. One afternoon, my friend Maya came over. She noticed the frame hanging by my front door. Inside it, the old spare key. You kept it? She asked, laughing. I nodded. As a reminder. Of what? That giving someone access to your life, I said, doesn't mean you can't change the locks. Later that night, I poured a glass of wine and stood on my balcony. The city lights shimmered like a promise. For a long time, that key represented betrayal, pain, weakness. Now it's proof. Proof that I didn't just survive. I outgrew him. Some nights I think about the scream, the shock, the silence that followed. And I smile. Not because of what I did to them, but because of what I finally did for myself. He thought the spare key was his way in. Turns out, it was my way out. In the end, I realized revenge isn't always fire and chaos. Sometimes it's quiet, patient. The kind that leaves a scar only when they finally look in the mirror. He'll never admit it, but he knows what he lost. Not just a person, but the peace I brought. The home I built. The loyalty he treated like background noise. And I didn't have to scream or beg or break down to make him see it. I just had to disappear. Now when I walk past a mirror, I see someone I almost forgot existed. Calm, unshaken, untouchable. My silence became my closure. My distance became his punishment. And that key he once used to walk into my life, it's just a reminder now that the door he took for granted will never open for him again.